So, Michael, what brings you to India?
There you go.
Great place to start.
Yeah.
Love,
You know, it's
my love.
Exactly. I miss Arvinder. I manage our global BD team, and this is a super important market for us. We've got a big presence here. We've got a bunch of committed partners, and it's important that I come to visit, the team to understand what's going on, and to be a sort of an emissary for in both directions. That is, taking lessons from the market and bringing them back to headquarters, and then taking the latest that's going on at headquarters in the market there and bringing it to India. So I haven't been in a while, but it's important that I get out and visit our key markets, and this is clearly one of them.
So, is India now more of a focus for Twitter after the whole digitalization drive by the government, and the Twitter is working with the government as well for a couple of products like Twitter Seva. So has the focus on the Indian market kind of increased, gone up after that?
I'd say it's a nice verification. It's always been a focus for us.
Okay.
It's great news when we see organizations like the government here embracing the partnership in a more deep and meaningful, embracing the platform in a more deep and meaningful way. It's great confirmation, it's great verification, but for us, it is already a super critical market and represents kind of, part of the future of our company. So yeah, I would say that's great and we love it, but we're still focused and have always been.
Arvinder, why don't you tell us about what kind of user engagement are you seeing in India as far as Twitter is concerned? What kind of growth are you seeing in terms of people who are new users who are joining the platform? What is the trajectory Twitter is on right now?
So the things that we've seen in the market in the last I've been here for over 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So user growth has been rampant, and we're seeing people from all corners of the country embracing the platform. And it's not the urban elite who's the only voice on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Things like the government and various parts of the government embracing Twitter is verification of the fact that it is relevant to the common man, and hence they are embracing it. Otherwise, if it was only for you and me in the urban parts of India, they would not embrace a platform like Twitter the way they have. Even organizations like large telecom operators, large service brands like Reliance Communications in India, Jet Airways, one of the largest airlines, Kotak and ICICI Bank, they've embraced the platform from a perspective of engaging with the audience on the platform. So they realized very quickly that people are anyways talking to them, but they were not responding back. So there was no conversation.
It's more of a grievance redressal forum for these companies now.
They moved beyond grievance, because now they realize that grievance is the starting of the relationship with them on Twitter. Because naturally people came here and talked about this is not working or that issue needs to be fixed. They said, but beyond that, what can we do? So we moved business KPIs for them. For instance, you can now do Jet Airways, you can go to them and tweet to them and find the lowest fare.
Okay.
And then they get a link, you link it to their website and you can book a ticket. So it actually driving revenues for them, right?
Okay.
Similarly with Kotak, etc., you can transfer money from one account to the other. You can use the Kotak wallet to pay something else. You pay your electricity and your DTH.
But where does Twitter come in
So again, we are the platform in which you can do it. You can tweet to the Kotak Bank and do a lot of these things, these transactions via Twitter, right? So this is beyond just, my account seems to have some issue with it. That's not the only conversation Kotak wants to have on the platform. So also, just take regular narratives on the platform. Any large event breaks out on Twitter, be it India winning or lack of medals, or the government politicians saying something not really nice towards the athletes.
So that's what Twitter's for, people
But
just
it's an open platform to have the conversation, right? There are not very many open platforms where you can have a public discourse on what the nation or the community, it could be a small community of 5 people having a debate on a specific topic. And hence we've seen Indians, the argumentative Indian is there live and kicking and they are tweeting their hearts out.
So that's exactly what Twitter initially built up the platform on, for people to speak up openly and to express their opinions. But we've seen that globally the audiences, the number of people, the users have gone down. Twitter's not being able to retain users. The last financial results that you guys reported, there was a decline in the user base. What is the company doing to kind of address that and retain their users, or probably get back the users who've who've left the platform?
Yeah, we're really focused on just continuing to create a better service for our users every day. So we know what we're good at. We know what's good, what the platform is good for. We know why users come and embrace Twitter, and every day they interact with each other. They learn about world events. They follow live activity. We understand what's good about the platform, and I think it's our job as a company to just continue to make sure that we're evolving it. So we're doing a lot of things to make it easier for users to
Could you
jump on
give us
board.
some examples? As in, I know Twitter's huge on live streaming right now.
Yeah.
So that's one of the key areas you guys are focusing
I
on?
think there's two, let's call it two types of things that we're doing. One is sort of evolving the platform to take advantage of sort of the new media, live video streaming and things of that nature, and that represents sort of the future of the company in many ways. There's also some more sort of basic blocking and tackling kind of stuff that we're working on every day in order to sort of get better. For example, oftentimes, when a user comes to Twitter for the first time, helping them get involved in the service, helping them understand who else has interests that are similar to them and who they should follow. Like, those are things that we've done in the past and we've done a good job of them, but we know we can do better, right? So when my mom comes to Twitter, how do we make it a super easy experience for her so that she doesn't come, find some interesting content, maybe look at one or two tweets, and then leave and not come back? Like, there's more work that we can do to make it a rich experience so that she gets there, she can immediately experience the magic of Twitter and keep coming back on a regular basis. That's basic stuff that we're working on every day. Then there's the stuff that I mentioned a moment ago around like live streaming. We can talk about that more if you'd like. That represents kind of the next phase of Twitter.
Yeah, actually I do want to talk about that. What is the next phase with live streaming? You guys got the NFL contract, you beat Amazon and Facebook for that. In India, what are your plans when it comes to live streaming? Are you kind of partnering with any television channels or any other sports organizations to live stream events in India as well?
So I'm sorry, the first part, and then
Sure.
Arvinder can jump in. So we're just getting started in this live streaming world.
Yeah.
We have always been the place where live conversations happen and news breaks and things of that nature. Like, Twitter is all about what's happening in the moment. So we've always been that. But we're taking steps to kind of augment and kind of reinforce our position in the world as it relates to live and what's breaking. The first step that a lot of us look at is what happened with Periscope. So Periscope is, is almost by definition sort of, what's happening live, right?
Yeah.
It enables anybody to pick up their phone and broadcast. We acquired the company, the leadership is terrific, and we're slowly but surely integrating Periscope into Twitter as a foundational core of the service. What we've also started to do very recently is gone out and sort of added sort of licensed professional content. So Periscope represents sort of citizen journalism in many ways, right? Now we're going out and we're talking to professional content creators, people like the NFL, who are embracing Twitter as a place to bring their live content and those live experiences in a world, to users around the world, beyond just like the television, right? So this is a very important element for us and reinforces kind of the fact that Twitter is a place where live things happen. We started with the NFL. We've done a number of other deals. We've done deals with the NBA. We've done deals with like E-League, which is like a video gaming community and channel. We've done a lot of these deals in the U.S. And we're just now kind of creating the right experience and just getting out to the market with it. We haven't even had our first NFL game.
Yeah.
But we're actively testing these things and feeling really good about the experience. We did some tests with Wimbledon.
Okay.
We worked on the Democratic and the Republican conventions in the U.S., which happened recently. We brought those things to Twitter on a live basis, and it worked great.
What was the response that
The
you saw?
response was very overwhelming. I think we everybody that came into the experience loves the combination of live video and Twitter content to support the experience.
Video is the next big thing, big step, for every social media platform,
That's right.
including Twitter. So is live streaming your only video bit? Are you doing any other feature additions in the platform itself for video?
Well, video has always been a place. I mean, we've been good at video. We've been evolving the video experience over time within Twitter. So basic things like increasing the the size limits around videos that you can upload. Like that is absolutely evolving. I think what's captured the public attention at the moment is this concept of live streaming. Sort of TV content, if you will.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's sort of captivating everybody, and we get a lot of excitement around, and we appreciate it. We're not trying to out-TV the TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the goal. The goal here is to do what we're good at, which is providing content that's happening in the moment and the conversation that's happening alongside of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's one thing to watch a football game on your television, and that's great. It's another thing, to catch part of the game on your mobile device via Twitter and see the conversation that the players, that the coaches, that the pundits are having alongside that game. That's what's really rich and powerful, and Twitter's really kind of the only place that you can get that. We're really focused on bringing a sort of unique Twitter element to that live content experience.
All right.
And to answer your earlier question on users, so first of all, the users have not decreased; it's increased, but there are two kinds of users that just call out because there's a misconception about our user numbers and our user growth rates, and I think we have to do a better job at explaining this.
Sure.
So one is those people who log into the app and website on a uniquely monthly basis, and that's grown. It's not grown at the rate which we wanted to, but it definitely has grown. But there is this massive audience of over 500 million monthly uniques who ingest tweets on a monthly basis outside Twitter. They come to New York Times or Times of India or some other publication, and they are consuming tweets.
So you're saying content consumption is more than people actually going out and tweeting stuff?
So that always has been the case, right? I mean, a small percentage of people actually contribute videos to YouTube. Majority of the people, 99%, consume. So it's not be golden that everybody on Twitter has to tweet, but there is a massive audience of tweeters as well. So over 1 billion tweets over every 2 days is created on the platform. Right? So that's big data, if you would call it that. And very few services in the world have close to 800 million to 1 billion unique monthly audience that hit it every month and consume the content that's generated on that platform, right? And we are one of those very, very, maybe counting fingers how many companies actually have that kind of an audience every month. So I think we are taking steps to, in fact, make both the sets of audiences larger and both the sets of audiences more contextual and relevant to the conversation that we're having on the platform. And that's something that we are working on.
So where are you placing your bets? What exactly are the areas that you're focusing on to increase engagement?
So, again, there is no silver bullet to, any company's, any one fundamental problem, be it either revenue or user or any business problem that you may have. So, a lot of initiatives have been taken, be it a product back in San Francisco, via partnerships that we're doing in the market across the world and in India, and making those partnerships more relevant. Giving insight to people's businesses on the platform based on the conversation that happen on the platform. So there is more meaning into Twitter than beyond just somebody tweeting out, right? So we are providing under the hood services like the Fabric platform, which is our developer platform for becoming the best friend of the developers in all markets around the world, right? Because then that also gives us some validation of who we are as a company, and sharing our love back to the community by giving those best practices that we've evolved over 10 years of existence as a digital company.
So I will talk about Fabric as well in a bit. Just wanted to come back to the second part of my question about partnerships around live streaming in India. So can you tell me if there's anything on the horizon right now, anything on the pipeline?
So as Michael said, we've taken initial steps in the US with a few announcements of live streaming partnerships, and obviously we're thinking about how to take this and scale it on a global basis, and the markets that are relevant. India is obviously an important market for us, but as of now, we haven't announced anything, so I'm not going to say which partners we are talking to.
But you are talking to them.
We're always looking at things. So again, it's so early as an initiative that we haven't had a first NFL game broadcast on Thursday Night Live. I would say we are looking at the results ourselves internally on how is the performance, etc. Do we need to tweak the product slightly before we get on more partners on board? It's a work in progress. Given it's a work in progress, it's very difficult for us to sit here and say, these are the deals we have done and they are going to work fabulously. So I think we are going to learn a lot. We may make some mistakes along the way, some partnerships, some content may not be appreciated on Twitter, some content will work which we never thought would work. Some product features might just be the deal maker for us, that like this is it. Right? Who knows?
You're searching for the deal maker product feature right now.
Everybody is, right?
Great. Coming to Fabric now, and how you're helping the developer community. Can you give us some examples of the startups or probably small businesses you're working with in India, and how is Fabric helping them develop better apps?
Yeah. So let me first explain the Fabric platform in a very simplified manner to your audience. So Fabric is a platform that is a collection of kits and tools that help a developer make a business out of his dream. Right? So suppose you're a developer and you have a vision of what you want to do, and your first thing you do is you code, you make an app, but the first thing, the most important thing is, does the app work? Is the health? What is the health of the app? So we have an SDK for that called Crashlytics. It gives you crash test reports immediately, and it's the #1 crash testing SDK in the world across iOS and Android. Right? Once you have a stable app, you want to know insights. Who's coming in? Why are they coming in? Where are they using? How many minutes? How many visitors? How many sessions? Etc. Right? What's the time they're spending on the app? Which is the exit points of the app? Should I be there? That's the answers. So they get an insight of, I have a stable app. Okay, this is what's happening in my app. Right? Once you have that, then you need an identity of the user who comes on board, and we help you that in 2 ways. You can either log in via Twitter, via the Twitter Kit SDK, or via Digits, which is your phone number signed in. Right? And Digits is a gift to the partner, because Digits actually costs money for a developer if you have global aspiration, or even in India. Because every the verified SMS comes to you with a code, you as a developer pay for that SMS. But we bear the cost of that SMS as well. Right?
So Fabric is a completely free of cost platform for developers?
I will say free plus.
Free plus.
And I'll explain that.
Sure.
The next thing we say, okay, you've got a healthy app, you have insight, you have an identity. We give you Twitter Kit, which helps you take the best tweets out of Twitter and put it in your app. See, the point of Twitter is not to be on Twitter all the time. The point of Twitter is to leave Twitter and consume the interests that you have, right? I'm not National Geographic, but National Geographic will tweet the best content on Twitter, and you will see it here, and then you go to National Geographic and consume those amazing images, etc. And then Mopup, which helps you monetize your app and monetize your inventory, right? So, if you are a developer in India, you can start with a dream and take all my kits and create a business at every level, at every stage of your app development cycle, right? And given this, we have started, and we've worked with 70 of the top 100 app developers in India. When I say that, if you take Google Play and you take away all the American and European, anything not made in India, like Google, Facebook, Twitter, right? Remove those and you click on the Indian apps. 70 of the top 100 are working with us and using one or many of these, of these kits that we have available in the Fabric platform. And like we did a partnership with Practo, wherein you can tweet to them and get a reply to a health problem you may have. It's like a bot kind of thing that. So you can tweet to Jet Airways and find the lowest fare from one place to the other. You can tweet to the bank and find about your balance in your bank via DM. That's the
Are these all bot-based platforms, as in from the side of the company, are bots responding on Twitter?
Yeah. It's not humans sitting behind typing your answers. It's bots.
So how do you kind of keep a check on bots growing on Twitter? There's been many instances where a bunch of companies have had fake followers in the form of bots. So how does one keep a check on that?
So again, it depends on what business you are in. If you're a bank versus an airline versus a healthcare app like Practo versus we've done partnerships in the UK about sports. I want to know the latest sport. I just follow a handle and I tweet to the handle, and that handle keeps sending me the updates on the sports via DM, right? So it depends on what business you're in. If you're on a financial services, there is a massive verification that happens at the end of the financial services partner, not at Twitter. They don't know who you are, what's the Twitter handle, everything that they need to verify you before they can send you an answer to your query. So again, if you're a sports fan, you don't need any bot, any authentication about who you are. You just want to know the score. You ping the handle, and the handle DMs you the score, in a periodic basis. So you're updated on the cricket match or the football match, whatever the case may be.
Just wanted to understand how a bot handle is actually made on Twitter.
You want to get technical?
I'm trying to understand this because I'll give you some context to why I'm getting here. It's because very recently there was a news report, not by us, but some other publication. They were actually looking into one of the leading television channels in India. I mean, I can name them, NDTV. They had a bunch of around 25,000 bots which were following them and tweeting out, retweeting their tweets. And when this whole thing was exposed by one of the other publications, those bots were taken down by Twitter. So
those are two separate.
yeah, so that's exactly what I'm trying to get into.
When we partner with someone, that's a very separate way of creating. Bots is not just a fancy four-letter word.
Sure, of course.
But basically, it's a way of automating responses to a basis of certain database of question and answers that company has. What you spoke about is a completely different aspect of someone with bad intent creating a program that creates handles on the fly and uses fake email IDs.
That's like a trust and safety issue for us versus a bot.
Yeah, so there are two different things, and we are tackling that at many levels.
Okay.
Sometimes it becomes largely manually tackled, sometimes we tackle it on a
yes, I mean you guys are spending 36,000 pounds just very
sometimes algorithmic, sometimes manual, but we are working towards making it more streamlined across the
How
world.
difficult it is to manage this because this is not just one instance. It's been it's been happening since the time.
It's a nuanced problem. It's a complex problem. There is no easy solution. I may say something without a single abuse in my sentence to you, but you might still get offended.
Yeah.
So for us to understand that across languages, with context around the world, it's not an easy problem. We are working on it. It's an AI problem to understand this, and technologies are developing to understand various languages and various contexts in which every word is used.
Yeah, we have a unique commitment to, we think, the world to be a place where speech is encouraged, free speech is championed, etc. At the same time, we have a very, very clear obligation to our users to protect them from trolls, spam, harm, abuse, etc. And we take both of those obligations very seriously. It's very difficult to do a good job of that, and we are as committed as we ever have been to doing a better job, and we're working on it tirelessly, and we recognize it for the incredibly important challenge that it is. It's something that we're always going to work on, right? And we'll constantly be striving to get better. But it's not easy, as Arvinder said, and yet we recognize the importance.
Just one last question. I was told that you would probably want to share some case studies with us in terms of your partnerships with startups or other businesses here. Is there anything in particular that you would like to highlight?
We have a bunch of partnerships we've done in the recent past. We have write-ups on that. You can email that if you want that.
Sure. So how do developers get in touch with Twitter to get onto the Fabric platform? Also, you needed to explain to me what is the free plus.
Oh yeah, the plus. You forgot to mention the plus.
So when you use the Fabric platform, everything is free on it.
Okay.
But the two pluses you get are, so when you use digits, we incur the cost of those SMSs. So that's value add. So while we're not paying you money, but that's the plus. When you use MoPub is an ad monetization SDK. So when you make an app, you now need to make money through advertising if that's the business model. We give you this really lightweight SDK that you connect to your app, and then your entire inventory can be managed via that SDK. You can get onboard advertisers on a global level. You can set rules, and you make money on your app via that SDK. So we help you make money, we help you save costs with digits, and everything is free. Plus,
and how does a developer approach you for getting on?
So we have fabric.twitter.com a website, fabric.io I think also there, and they can come to us there.
There's a mobile app as well, right, with Fabric?
There is a mobile app for Fabric that is also available, and I think we have very well. You can reach me at the
Definitely.
Damn it! Target of developers.
You gave me a card.
Yeah. So and we have connectors I think in every country on these portals that you can reach out to us. So.
Sure. Great. Nice talking to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.